Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAdvantage.com, and I am here today to talk Bengals Chiefs AFC Championship game. We've moved on from the Bills. We're ready to talk about the Bengals. On to the Bengals. It's Bengals week. It's AFC Championship week. Get excited, Chiefs fans. We're on track for another Super Bowl. I've got 4 reasons for Chiefs fans to be optimistic about this Bengals game. Both these teams have explosive offenses. They met earlier in the regular season, and the Bengals won. And everyone's expecting a good game, but you guys want reasons to be optimistic that the Chiefs will win this game. You know, reasons to think that this game will have a different result than the last one. This isn't one of my reasons to be optimistic, but I think the Bengals got very lucky in the first game. I think it took everything breaking their way for them to win that. I thought the refs were awful in that game, and the Chiefs made a lot of mistakes, shot themselves in the foot a few times, but I believe that stuff will get cleaned up, and they're going to be hyper-focused on this game. So without further ado, here are 4 reasons to be optimistic for Chiefs versus Bengals. Reason number 1, and I feel like I can't make a reasons to be optimistic list without mentioning this, but the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how many more times I need to stress it to you guys. I told you this before the Bills game, and I highlighted it as the number 1 reason the Chiefs were going to win. It's Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't lose games like these. He's built for this moment. He's on fire. He's thrown for like 800 yards and 9 touchdowns already this postseason. You know, the Patrick Mahomes factor means more than ever. The Chiefs have the edge at quarterback in this game. Joe Burrow's a fantastic young quarterback, but he's not Patrick Mahomes, and he hasn't accomplished nearly as much as Patrick Mahomes has. At his age, of course. We've seen a version of Patrick Mahomes come out this postseason that I don't even think we've seen in prior postseasons. You know, 5 straight touchdown drives against Pittsburgh, an absolute show against Buffalo, and the 13-second game. I mean, guys, Patrick Mahomes, that's one reason to be optimistic about this game. I can promise you that. The second reason to be optimistic in this game is the Chiefs' defensive line versus the Bengals' offensive line matchup. I think this one's very lopsided. The Bengals' offensive line has allowed around 60 sacks this year. The Bengals, I think, are the most sacked team in the NFL. That offensive line is god-awful. The Chiefs dominated them in the first matchup. The mistake the Chiefs made is that they kept blitzing even though the defensive line didn't need, blitzing to be helped, and they sacrificed coverage in order to blitz, and they tried to, scare Joe Burrow, and clearly Joe Burrow was not fazed by the blitz, and you gave up a bunch of yards to Jamar Chase. This time, you just need to drop your guys back and let your defensive line go to work. Chris Jones dominated on the inside in the prior matchup. You have Melvin Ingram, Frank Clark, Jaron Reed. You got to hope those guys step up, and I think they will. Like I said, the Bengals' offensive line is just, it's not great at all, and they allowed 9 sacks against Tennessee and somehow still pulled out the win. The Chiefs are way too good of a team. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to get 9 sacks in this game, but if they get even close to that number, like if they sack Joe Burrow 5 or 6 times in this game, the Chiefs will run away. Because, you know what, the Chiefs are too good of a team to where if you allow Joe Burrow to get sacked that many times, you're not going to get away with a win. It's just not going to happen. Third reason to be optimistic, experience. The Chiefs are experienced in AFC Championship games, especially Patrick Mahomes, who was my first reason to be optimistic. But the Bengals kind of strike me as the 2018 Chiefs a little bit. They're a hot new team with a great offense, but they still have some weaknesses. They're not quite experienced in the postseason, and they feel, a year early. They're lucky to be in the AFC Championship game, and I'm not saying they're not deserving, but again, I think some things had to break their way in order for them to be in this game. I think they're a year away from being true contenders. I think the Chiefs outclassed them. They certainly have more experience, and for that reason, I think the Chiefs have an edge in this game. This is their 4th straight AFC Championship game, and it's the 4th one that they have hosted in a row as well. The Chiefs know what it takes to win this game. They're seeking a 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance. Meanwhile, the Bengals have not won an AFC Championship game since 1988. People underestimate what playoff experience can do for a team, and the Chiefs have won 8 playoff games since Patrick Mahomes became the starter a few years ago, and the Bengals, this is their first postseason run in a long time. Joe Burrow has not been in the playoffs yet. This is his first year. I just struggle to see how a team so young like the Bengals and a team that has, I would say more weaknesses than the Chiefs like the Bengals beats the Chiefs in a game like this. I just don't see it happening. The Chiefs also outclassed the Bengals on both sides of scrimmage, and that's another reason why I think the Chiefs easily run away with this game. I think the Chiefs DL versus the Bengals OL is a more lopsided matchup than the Chiefs OL versus the Bengals DL, but I think the Chiefs are winning this game at the line of scrimmage on both sides, if I'm being honest. But I'm kind of getting off track. That could honestly be another reason to be optimistic. This one was playoff experience. Basically, the Chiefs are more experienced than the Bengals in this type of game, and that's why I think you can be optimistic. Now, my last reason for fans to be optimistic about this game is the Arrowhead Advantage. This game is being played at home. The last time these two teams played, it was on the road in Cincinnati. And I think the Chiefs' defense, part of their poor performance in that game, and some of you may think this is corny, but I think it was because it was not in front of the Chiefs' home crowd, and the Chiefs' defense truly does feed off the energy of the crowd, and especially the pass rush too. And now this time it'll be at home. It'll be loud. Joe Burrow had some comments earlier this year about how he thinks some SEC stadiums are louder than NFL stadiums. I don't know if Joe Burrow has ever been to Arrowhead in his lifetime, but it is a different animal. I know the Chiefs faithful is going to show up for this game. They're going to keep in mind what Joe Burrow said. They're going to make it difficult for him and the Bengals. And I saw a clip on Twitter that the Bengals were actually turning up the speakers at full volume in their stadium to practice what the Chiefs crowd noise might be like. I think it's actually something that can affect them, because if they didn't think it was a big deal, they would not be practicing in an environment where they're playing the crowd speakers like that. Communication could be an issue for the Bengals offense because of Arrowhead. And just the big moment and everything, this game being at home, I feel really good about the Chiefs. It's really good that this game is at home, because if it was on the road again, I would be a tiny bit more concerned. But no, it's at Arrowhead. Chiefs fans are going to show up. They're going to be loud. And I think Patrick Mahomes and the defense is really going to feed off of it, and they're going to come out firing in this game. So yeah, those are my 4 reasons that Chiefs fans should feel optimistic about the AFC Championship game. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you agree, disagree with anything I said? Do you have your own reasons for being optimistic that I didn't mention? Let me know. All that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com. And I will see you in the next one.